Hello, TelecomTV here. We are at the SDN NFV World Congress 2018 in The Hague in the Netherlands, and I'm talking with JehanneSavi of Orange. Jehan, great to see you again.
Yeah, hello.
Thanks for talking to us. We're going to talk about automation and cloud native for a few minutes. Let's start with this. How important do you think automation is to your transformation plans at Orange, and where are you on that roadmap?
So first, automation is very critical from our standpoint because it's both critical for the customer promise, and as you know, of course, the first promise of the SDN NFV is this on-demand, that means real-time, zero-touch, customization, and even a pay-per-use kind of pricing model. So it's really critical to have this self-service and real-time as an end customer promise to have basic automations. And secondly, it's also critical from the second standpoint and second incentive for this transformation, which is the agility seen from our operations. And there we need to have better lead times, time to deliver or time to repair. And we rely on these technologies also coming along with automation to provide this level of agility and at the end of the day savings or impact on our EBITDA.
How far along that roadmap are you? So we understand how important it is. Have you passed various mileposts?
We've passed some steps that are the ones, let's say, seen from the customers. That, for example, with our offer for the MNCs, what will be needed to have zero-touch CPEs, what is needed to have the upgrade of their bandwidth on demand, things like that. So we've reached this step, but let's say it's the upper part of the iceberg, and then we have to go to the bulk. And it's not the easy part, it's also very comprehensive, and that's where we count on ONAP. I think we've already passed this message and discussed that, you and me. We really bet on ONAP, and now we consider that it's quite mature, and that probably we can rely on it for the first use cases. So we are trying to identify and set the conditions for this advent of ONAP in real operations. And here I would like also to pass a message to the ecosystem, because probably we miss some industrial actors to support that at operational level in countries.
How important do you think zero-touch provisioning and machine learning is in creating a self-service network?
Zero-touch provisioning, from my standpoint, it's already a reality. As I said, maybe not fully down to the bulk, but it's already a reality. Whereas self-adaptive networks, it's still a long way to go. It means to master and to embed the artificial intelligence or machine learning mechanism engines. And so it's still a long way to go, and probably we have this first step with the basic automation through ONAP, which itself can be interfaced with artificial intelligence to manage closed loops. But I see it as a second step. If we talk about our business opportunities or our business intent, yes, obviously, we want to go till this step of self-adaptive networks and the promise that we can sell accordingly to our customers.
Thank you. Let's move on to cloud native. How important is it for CSPs to adopt a cloud native mindset?
I think it's competition, basically. If we stay in the old business model, then we cannot be competitive with other companies or other actors that would go for this pure cloud model. So leveraging a cloud provider or being themselves their own cloud provider, but with the state-of-the-art and the level of service that is the one of the hyperscalers. And so this means that it also brings by design or by culture these promises of agility, both for the business and for the operations. And that's why telcos should really foresee an ambition to reach this level of automation, this level of service that is the one of the cloud typical business and typical ecosystem. And I say telcos, but I should say also vendors, because we have the same benefit here, or the same interest to make the ecosystem viable and to make the ecosystem serving the SDN NFV promises. And I want to illustrate this by the analogy or the target of a marketplace, getting a marketplace of VNFs that could be integrated by default. And this is really the mindset of the cloud providers, the big hyperscalers we all know. And so at the end of the day, it's competitive advantage thanks to this agility that we are looking for.
Let's move on to the evolution, Jehan, of VNFs to CNFs. How do you go about it?
So first, of course, we consider it's the target, and it's this cloud-native situation that we just talked about. So really, we want to achieve this step. But we do not believe that we can leapfrog directly to the containers, and that we have the short-term stake really to automate, to get the promise of the SDN and FV at this stage with the virtualization only, let's say. And then, of course, we will go for the containers, but once again, probably we cannot wait for this deadline, even if it's probably most promising, of course, in terms of both of agility and economics. So we rely on the vendors also to redevelop their VNFs, especially the legacy vendors, to rewrite from scratch their VNFs so they can really be cloud native.
Last one, which is good job you said we're talking about cloud. Telco cloud. When will the telco cloud in fact be a platform to deliver multi-cloud based services and applications? Is that going to happen?
That's a good question, quite tricky question. Maybe we should engage a strategic think tank about that. But yeah, it could be a trend, at least in the IT business, in the IT industry. It's already kind of standard, kind of general trend to have a multi-cloud strategy. And so we expect from some actor to manage this multi-cloud. And this is a real valuable service since from the B2B business. If now we come to the telco cloud, maybe it will be a trend also, but it's a bit early to say that. And at least we have a question with our telco cloud. It's once again, how can we standardize it? How can we make it a real platform for the ecosystem, and especially the VNF developer ecosystem, to certify, to integrate natively? That's for me the first key question to date.
JehanneSavi, Thank you very much.
Thank you.